Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. As always, your host with the most, Ghost. This is gonna be a little Hell in a Cell main event video. The camera cut out at the finish of the review video. Subscribe to the channel. We're gonna get into Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Hell in a Cell 2016. They made history there, being the first women to compete in Hell in a Cell and the first women to main event a pay-per-view. And I kind of feel bad for them at the end of the night because this match really didn't live up to the hype. With bad spots and a bad ending. No offense to the women, they're good at wrestling, but this was a bad Hell in a Cell match. Sasha comes out, or let's get to Charlotte. She comes out in a queen chair, a la Macho Man, and Banks comes out in a Cadillac Escalade, a la Eddie Guerrero. Before the match starts, Charlotte attacks Sasha. They brawl to the outside underneath the cage while it's lowering, and they brawl into the crowd. Now the cage is fully lowered. Charlotte is trying to climb the cage by the announce desk, and then Banks knocks her off. Charlotte goes for a power bomb through the announce table, but Banks is too high, so she has to climb down a bit, and then Charlotte hooks her in through the announce desk. And they do the whole stretcher thing, bringing out the gurney and putting her in a neck brace. I really feel like this wasted a lot of time here, and this time could have been used for a lot of other things in the match. I feel like the match was rushed afterwards, and they didn't really get the spots they wanted to win after this. They are about to announce Charlotte as the new champion before Banks runs into the ring and the referee stops the announcer. The match officially starts. And right away, Charlotte's attacking the back, hitting high moves off Banks. They go for a couple of table spots, which didn't go as planned. And, these women, they're not as big and muscular and strong as the men, so they can't execute these moves as good as the men. The execution was very off tonight. Way off. And those table spots are hard to pull off. I go back to Michelle McCool and I think it was Mickey James. Same thing happened to them. They couldn't even break the table. So Banks pushes Charlotte off the top rope through a table. It doesn't really break. They break more of the legs part of it, and the small part of the table, but they can't really set the table up outside the ring there. There's not enough room. They end up setting a second table in the ring. This is where I think they went wrong. Sasha Banks has Charlotte on the top turnbuckle there, and the table's right there. Banks moves the table and props it in the opposite corner on the middle turnbuckle. And I don't know why. She tries to, pick up Charlotte for like a running power bomb. But, Charlotte is too heavy at this time. Banks is very fatigued and, she drops Charlotte. Very bad spot, They had the table there. Banks could have just power bombed her through the table. And I think they were cued in to just go right to the finish. And Charlotte tries to hip toss Sasha Banks through the table. It It doesn't work. She just like throws her on the table a second time. And Banks is very small. She's got to be, 140, 150 pounds at the most. And that's giving her probably 10, 20 pounds. She's not very heavy. She's a very small woman, Sasha Banks. So after those 2 table spots, the table doesn't break. Charlotte hits natural selection. And we have a new women's champion. A very quick ending. Very abrupt ending. Weird. I wasn't a fan of this match. And that's no diss to the women. Because they tried very hard. They worked very hard. I just didn't like the match. It didn't work tonight. They can look at what they did wrong here and try to execute it better somewhere down the line. But, I give them a lot of props for being in the first main event of a pay-per-view and in the Hell in a Cell. It's a big distraction being in that cell. And overall, I'd probably give this pay-per-view a thumbs up. I enjoyed it for the most part. We got a new women's champion. We'll probably see that tonight on Raw. But that's it for Hell in a Cell review. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.